a story, call it Taps and Takes. That's
good. That doesn't even look like beer.
Well, it is.
Yeah, but who's going to tell?
It's a blood orange Cali Squeeze.
I know, but...
Found here at Groggs Traditional Irish Pub. Welcome to Taps and Takes. Ow! That's how you smoothly walk your way into an introduction.
We were doing Zoolander face, then all of a sudden went to beer too. We're live.
We are live here in Clovis, California, where Fresno and Clovis don't tell each other, but then they kiss.
It's better than Clovno.
Oh, Clovno. I kind of like Clovno now. You could sell me on Clovno. You could sell me on Clovno, but it is Taps and Takes, where we talk about the nerd news, the sports news, and everything in between here at Groggs Traditional Irish Pub. With us today, our favorite manfluencer to be, we have Smooth Eddie, Edward Rouse. Eddie, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
You're looking lighter. You're looking tan.
Yeah, I check out that farmer's tan, dude. Look at that.
That's all right. Hey, a farmer's tan is still a tan nonetheless.
Yeah, I had a weekend of
You've been eating your Wheaties. You've been doing some pull-ups, I can tell.
Oh, you know it. Pull-ups every day, baby. Planks, pull-ups, got to get the P's in, push-ups, planks, pull-ups, the three P's.
The three P's.
The three P's.
The three P's to success.
Do good. Screw it. Sign my divorce papers, baby.
Hang on. Where we got? Ah, boo.
Boo, the button doesn't work.
No. Here we go.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Officially a single father. Let's go.
Single fathers.
Yeah. Exciting day.
Yeah.
How did I celebrate? I went axe throwing.
Yeah. That sounds.
It was incredible.
Are you into the whole, they have like the break rooms? Where you can go in and just bash a bunch of stuff?
I have never done that, but I would like to.
See, I'm not an angry guy, so I don't know if I would do well there.
I'm not that much of an angry guy. I think it's just more of the...
Axe throwing's pretty badass, though.
It was great.
It's
so
super
much
fun.
Yeah, check it out. It's over...
It's right down the street from us. We're like 5-minute drive. So we went I think during like Christmas season.
Was it Bad Axe?
Me and Lady Jams. It's Bad Axe.
Yeah, that's where I went. It was great. Shout out to Bad Axe. They were wonderful time.
Love those guys over there. Yeah.
Go throw some hatchets.
And it will tell you, and I know you're newly single, but it will show you how scary your partner can be. I swear to God, Lady Jam's first throw with an axe was a bullseye.
Yo!
And it made me look at her in two ways. One, kind of hot.
That's what I would have done.
And two, I cannot get her mad because she's got that 99 mad in accuracy.
Well, just don't keep axes, next to the bed.
Yeah, that's true. I'll keep my tomahawks under the bed. Yeah. But it's time to dive into the entertainment news and the sports news. NBA Finals about to go on.
Yeah.
One of the most one-sided betting odds in NBA history. But we'll dive into that for a small little portion of blind bets. We can't do it. We can't do an intro, though. Otherwise, we'll get copywritten.
Again.
Yeah, so we can't do that. But let's go into the weekend of
nerdage. We can't prop it like it's hot.
We cannot prop it like it's hot. We can't.
Dang you, Snoop Dogg.
We can't. What was it? That song.
You just did it right now.
Damn it. All right, let's go into the entertainment news of the last weekend.
All right.
Netflix's event went on over the weekend, and that's where they cover a lot of the things that are going to be big for them in the upcoming year or so. So let's start with the biggest news, and that is Stranger Things, the final season. That's taken what feels like 5 years to produce.
Yeah. But look at it. It's going to be great.
The trailer looks fantastic.
Everybody's coming back.
Not everybody.
No, everybody's coming back.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But Eddie's
coming back.
Oh,
they're all coming back.
You confirm Barb? Justice for Barb?
Is definitely coming
Justice for Barb, finally.
Just my theory, but I think they're
going to be doing a 3-week release, November 26, 2025 for the first part. Part 2 is going to be Christmas, and then part 3 is New Year's Eve.
Don't call me.
What do you feel about the 3-parter, the 3-part release?
It's fine.
Arcane did it, but they did it like back to back to back. Whereas this is like, here's a month, here's a week.
Yeah, it just depends on again, and I think I've talked about this on this show. It's a strategic business release for Netflix.
I think it's smart to do it during the holidays.
It's their biggest show by far, ever.
Well,
and
technically Squid Games, right?
oh yeah, and they did the same thing with Squid Games, but and normally they do just the huge bucket release, right? But to do this like that, you're guaranteed that somebody will sign up for Netflix for 3 months instead of one. It's a
Right.
business
No, it's smart
aspect of it.
Yeah,
and-
because you need it for November.
but you know what
gotta
they're
have
going to
it for
do.
December.
You know what they're going to do. They're going to raise prices at the end of the summer.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, they're for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if by like August you get a report saying Netflix to
$24.99 or
to
whatever.
increase prices yet again.
Yeah.
And yet
I will still do it because Stranger Things is God. Oh,
Is it the best thing on Netflix ever?
yes, I think so.
What do you think's had a higher peak? And we'll move on in a second.
Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Ask
At any-
the audience.
Well,
Ask the
okay,
audience.
we'll ask. Well, I'm asking you to ask the audience.
Okay. Oh, wrong camera.
What do you think has been the highest peak of Netflix? Was it Witcher 1 or 2?
Ooh.
Was it Stranger Things? Maybe 3? Because I think season 3 is probably their best season.
This last season of Stranger Things was.
Squid Game's 1.
Ooh, that's.
I mean, if you want to go back in time, maybe Orange is the New Black. That was like their,
But
that was their big. That was one of their
was-
big shows
yeah.
that made Netflix what it is. So I want to know, what do you guys think is Netflix's biggest win?
Stranger Things.
Is
probably.
it acquiring Cobra Kai?
No.
Karate Kid Legends.
Did you
now
see
in
it?
theater.
Did
No,
you see it?
it is. So this movie, and let's just talk about the movies right now. I have more Netflix stuff, but let's talk about the movies because
I
this
know, I'm
summer,
just going all over the place.
this summer is stacked,
dude.
or movie.
Oh,
And I mean, like
every week.
so Mission Impossible released 2 weeks ago.
And Lilo and Stitch, which I saw. Great.
Lilo and Stitch. I'll get your thoughts on that at the end here.
Okay.
We had Mission Impossible,
Mhm.
Lilo and Stitch. We had Karate Kids Legends,
Mhm.
which just dropped last weekend.
Mhm.
We have Superman,
Ballerina this week, which I'm going
Ballerina.
Thursday.
which I just saw the trailer for
Mhm.
this past weekend. I feel like there hasn't been any marketing behind this.
Well, I've been going to the movies a lot, so I've seen the
Okay.
preview a lot. but yeah.
So we have Ballerina.
Which means it's probably going to stink. But I have the
think it
Regal
look-
Pass.
No, I thought it looked good.
I don't have my daughter on Thursdays because,
Ana de
Divorced.
Armas looks fantastic.
well,
I
in
mean, she
general.
does always, but I mean, like she fits.
really? What gave it away?
Well, I mean, in the sense of she fits the.
She does.
The
Yeah.
like kind of the aesthetic of John Wick's universe, the
Yeah.
Ballerina.
I'm excited for it, actually.
No, I think anything John Wick is guaranteed good.
Yeah.
At this point, I think you have to go into it expecting a good film.
Yeah. And I got my Regal Pass re-up for the summer, so
Nice.
might as well.
Perfect time to do it.
Mhm.
You Fantastic Four.
Yep.
I mean, there's just so many
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
And you know what? I'm not the biggest
Elio, which I'll see with my daughter.
I'm not the biggest Jurassic Park fan. I think the first one is a movie classic,
Yes.
and I think it should be respected as such. And I think what it did for movies as a whole is invaluable.
Yeah.
The premise is the dumbest thing ever.
Oh, it's a great premise.
It's a stupid premise. You would
Yeah.
never hey, let's bring back man-eating dinosaurs
Yeah, but on an island. And now,
that everybody seems to have access to and gets eaten.
well, yeah, we could fly. But now,
And also, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we bring back flying dinosaurs
yes.
and swimming dinosaurs?
Yeah, of course.
So they can just be monsters
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. And let's take the really scary ones and put them on an island and then make a new movie about going to that scarier
To
island.
the even scarier
'Cause that's
island.
exactly what this one is.
I know.
But I like ScarJo. so-
of course, we all do.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't mind Pratt and the other few.
And again, if you have the Regal Pass, just go on a Thursday night. Check it out.
So my problem with Jurassic Park is it's just so dumb, and yet they keep getting made, and I just
Yeah.
I don't
The dinosaurs are fucking awesome.
They are cool. I will give you that. Plus, we also have Shin Godzilla being released in theaters.
yeah.
So anything Godzilla is great.
Yeah. Which, okay. And that premise is better than Jurassic Park.
Well, that one, it's just nuclear testing gone wrong.
yeah. Well,
That's
Jurassic Park is genetics gone wrong.
well, that's well, if you think about it, yeah, I guess Godzilla is human error because they were testing nukes. But also, Godzilla -1 was awesome.
It was good.
Best Godzilla movie, I think, ever.
Yeah. Ooh. I really like the new one that they did where they were jumping out of airplanes with red smoke. That one was pretty good, but one's good too.
My problem with the MonsterVerse Godzillas is that there's never enough Godzilla.
No, you're right.
They always short arm you Godzilla.
Excuse me. Question.
Answer.
Hey, Switch 2's coming out on
this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time people
raise your hand if you're getting one. You're not getting one?
I didn't pre-order it.
So Wednesday is the special midnight release at Best Buy.
Okay.
And it's 9 here.
It's 9.
I need you to hold my spot in line.
No.
I'll pay you $20.
$20.
$20?
$20.
Let me have the Switch for the first month.
I'll let you have the Switch for 2 weeks the second month. That's when Donkey Kong comes out, Elliott.
That doesn't mean you'll buy Donkey Kong.
I'll buy it. I'll buy it and let you play it.
There's no games. You got to buy something.
If you buy Bonanza,
okay,
I get it for that first week.
First week, 7 days.
10 days.
7 days.
10 days.
9 days.
11.
9.
11.
But I notarized it.
Never forget.
It's on camera. It's on camera.
Sure.
9 days.
11.
10.
Deal.
Jesus Christ.
It's on camera.
All right. So I will be out at Best Buy, I guess, this Wednesday.
For only 10 days.
For a Switch that doesn't belong to me.
To play for only 10 days. See, you should have upped the ante.
I can get Bonanza done in 10.
See, I just got done with this. So what you should have done is a schedule where you get it a few days a week.
I get it on the weekends.
Yeah, every other weekend.
You got to bring it to the pod every Friday.
You know.
And I get to play it.
Yeah, see? And then you could have,
Now, the problem is I'm about to have zero social life. So I'm going to need a video game I can play for like an hour at a time because I'm starting a master's program in about 2 weeks.
And you're going to have time to play video games?
I'll make time for Donkey Kong.
You'll make time for DK.
I'll make time for DK, for the Kongs.
What are you getting your master's in?
Master Science in Sports Business and Media.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, over at
Hell
Santa
yeah.
Clara University. Shout out Broncos.
Shout out Santa Clara University Broncos, baby.
Bronco Nation.
The most generic mascot of all colleges.
Bronco Nation. Let's ride.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. So this summer is stacked for movies.
We've already talked about Netflix movies.
Well, let's go back to Netflix because a lot of the big things that came out were this weekend. The first showing, and I know you don't follow anime, but
not as much.
Did
I
you
like One Piece though.
I was about to ask you. So we're about to go into One Piece. So season 2 of One Piece.
I can't wait.
We get the teaser of Tony Chopper, who is going to be the doctor of the Straw Hat Pirates. It's not a spoiler. One Piece has been iconic for 25 years.
Yeah.
What do you think how he looks? Because he's kind of a mix of how he looked, at least in the original source material, like the pre-time skip and the post-time skip. He's kind of like
He's in the middle
ground.
Yeah.
I think he looks good.
I think he looks good too.
The voice might rub people the wrong way, but Chopper is a very young, naive creature.
Yeah.
And people also forget he's not like a human who bit into a reindeer devil fruit. He is a reindeer that bit into a human fruit. So, I mean...
Don't say that 3 times fast.
Yeah. So, I mean, I am very excited. And also, I cannot wait to see Crocodile, one of my favorite antagonists in the whole series, and also Nico Robin.
Yeah. They just done a good job with it in general.
Well, and they understand. One, they brought Oda in, so they brought in the right person, just to kind of overlook things. They also know anime adaptations, live action, are almost always doomed to fail.
Correct.
So embrace the kind of goofiness, embrace kind of the zaniness.
Also, One Piece is very goofy and zany in general.
Exactly. So just like embrace that and just let the chemistry of the cast carry. And that's what
was great. Yeah.
The chemistry of the Straw Hats is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't
I'm
wait.
excited for it.
That's going to be coming out.
What a great year for media.
Yeah.
What a great year for
2026 is when,
Dang it.
But it's fine because we're going to go to where entertainment news and sports news meets Happy Gilmore 2's second trailer comes out. And look, I know you get like a certain level of gunk with Adam Sandler films.
He's been some bangers that have been dramatic.
I am all in for Happy Gilmore 2.
Yeah, I wish I could see it in theater.
Yeah, honestly, I don't see why.
Why are they not releasing it in the theater?
It's like
well, they are in a few places, but not like here.
But I mean, I agree. I think Happy Gilmore 2 should absolutely.
It would crush.
It would crush. But I think he has like a deal with Netflix where
he's crushing.
Yeah. So like I guess at the end of the day, that's what matters for him and Billy Madison production. So I
know some people who are actually having parties, like Happy Gilmore 2 watch parties, where they're going to watch one first, and then they're like, it's wearing outfits.
You just gave me a fantastic idea.
I'm full of them sometimes
for Fairway Lounge. I'm gonna have to hit them up,
dude. That's a brilliant idea.
And
you could social market the hell out of that.
The easiest moneymaker ever.
And then you could have a Happy Gilmore style longest drive contest.
Well,
what?
So
pay me.
So it's funny you mentioned that because we have been wanting to do something with that, but I've kind of scooted back from asking them because they get approached so often from people about like, hey, do this charity event. Hey, do this. Hey, why don't you come out and do this?
Yeah, but you're promoting them as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wanted to do a closest. Here's what I wanted to do. We'll go back to Netflix in just a second.
We're talking about Happy Gilmore. It works.
But I wanted to do a live stream of the pod where everybody involved in the do-over rents out a bay and we go until one of us hits a hole in one.
Okay.
So I've hit in 2 hole in ones. I've hit in 2 hole in ones since I've started at Fairway Lounge.
Okay, so that tells me how realistic it is.
Exactly, not very. And if there's anything I can tell you about like doing Fairway Lounge or anything similar like that, it will boost your confidence as a golfer until you go out and actually golf again, and you will remember how bad you are. But
that tree is real.
Yeah. Well, also, and like you'll be like, man, I really drove that one. You'll go out and then you'll shank one 100 yards right, and you're like, oh, that's right, I'm back.
Sorry, just
back like I never. Yeah. Happy Gilmore 2 though is going to be premiering July 25th this summer.
Yeah.
All right. That wasn't my smoothest transition.
That was terrible, but I loved it
Squid Game
anyway.
Season 3. We got one last trailer for that. That's going to be coming out June, late June. So it's the perfect time to binge Season 2. I watched the first 2 episodes of Season 2. Haven't gotten to finish
Season 2 yet?
Haven't finished it yet. Started it. Haven't finished it. Lady Jams isn't a fan. She doesn't. She hasn't. I don't think she gave it the fairest shot because I think the Korean and reading subtitles kind of threw her off.
Yeah, and you have to do it that way. You
agree.
Not do the English voices are so corny.
Well, they just sound off. And like you can't get the emotional impacts of season 1 watching it in English.
It's like, why does this old Asian man sound like Morgan Freeman? I have no idea. It's weird.
I played a game once.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. I'll probably do the whole binge of Squid Games.
It's worth it.
And then we've got...
It starts off slow, but then once it picks up, it gets really good. Yeah.
Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Tale has shown their first trailer. That's going to arrive on the platform December 12th of this year. The first Knives Out was fantastic.
Yeah.
Glass Onion, I heard, is incredible.
It's not as good, but it's good.
And then we have another one. So the trilogy of films is going to be finished here in December 12th.
The problem was the first one was so good. And then Glass Onion, like you kind of wanted the same, but it was very easy to figure it out, which I hated.
The thing that I liked about Knives Out is that you kind of knew who did it, but then you didn't know who was responsible for it.
Correct. But Glass Onion, you kind of figured it all out.
They did that really well. And so I can't wait for that. Another thing I can't wait for.
It's not a beer, remember?
Or anytime I say the word beer, just bleep it out. We have Predator, Killer of Killers. The animated film going straight to Hulu. That comes out Friday. So when this releases...
I'll be watching it.
So it releases today.
Well,
so
I'll be watching this and then after. I love watching myself on Friday mornings. You'll
go right to Hulu and watch Killer of Killers, Predator. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it took so long, but we finally cracked the code with Alien and Predator. You got the right people working on these projects, giving some serious love to the lore, the source material, these creatures, and Alien Romulus, I think is
so good.
probably the second. It's tough. I would.
Third
I don't know
best
if
Alien movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I could say
Alien and Aliens.
Alien 1, I think, is the best Alien film.
And then Aliens.
Aliens
and then Romulus
is perfect in it.
Which works because Romulus takes place in between Alien and Aliens.
I know. And it is, and I can't wait for the second one they're making, and I can't wait for Alien Earth. Yep. That looks awesome.
And the Predator looks amazing.
And then, the trailer for the Predator came out, and now Badlands, Badlands looks crazy. And
Prey was great.
Prey was great. And now we have Killer of Killers, which is going to be released today. So when you're done here, you'll go straight to Hulu and watch it. And it looks awesome. I'm probably going to try and watch it Thursday. I hope it does the midnight release Eastern time on Thursday. So I can really watch it at 9 o'clock on Thursday.
Hulu does do that.
And then I'll watch.
Netflix is the only one that has the technology to really screw you over. Yeah. Everyone else, 9 o'clock and everything comes out.
Next, I want to go into Constantine 2. Constantine 2.
Interesting.
Constantine 2, Constantine 1, a cult classic film.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters, actually.
A lot of people, when it first came out, kind of brushed it off.
I saw it in a theater on a date, actually.
See, I first watched it on AMC because it used to be on AMC on TV all the time.
With commercials.
Yeah. And then you'd watch it on like DVD, you'd rent it, and then you'd watch it. And it only got more popular after it was released on DVD. The movie's great. Well, apparently there's a little bit of a hiccup. Because according to an interview with the Direct, Keanu Reeves' co-star, and apologies if I butcher the last name, Peter Stomar?
Sure. Yeah.
He has said Keanu hasn't liked any of the scripts so far. He warns that he warns, don't turn it into big Marvel. You know what made Constantine 1 the cult classic that it is? One is that it bombed. Essentially,
it did bomb. I remember I was on a date and there was like 3 people in the theater.
Yeah, is that people didn't like it at first. It wasn't this giant theatrical thing.
It was good. I thought it was good.
No, I think it's a great film, but it took word of mouth. It took people.
It took Keanu getting cool again.
Right. So I mean, and also like it wasn't this giant action set piece film. It was very like kind of grounded. It was
until the end, but
yeah, it was a very spiritual kind of like back and forth moral battle that they had, getting to understand the demon culture and like introducing that girl into the like being able to see demons. And then it ended in like a grand finale set, which makes the action shine more. I would argue. Part of me wants to know: do you bring back Shia LaBeouf?
I don't know.
Because he's a little
crazy.
He's a little crazy, but he is like he's a religious guy, I believe. So
I haven't seen him do. What was the last thing?
I think it was Peanut Butter Falcon, which a lot of people liked.
It was okay. Yeah, I don't.
But so there is a little trouble in Constantine 2 Paradise.
That's fine. We have enough coming out right now.
Yeah. And then finally, my last thing, and we can end on this, is Amazon MGM Studios is in talks to develop Split Fiction live action film. Split Fiction, for those of you that don't know, was a video game. It was a co-op video game, which was actually very well received by the people who played it. It follows 2 women on this interdimensional adventure. It's like an action platformer. I never got to play it, but from the people that have played it, they gave it raving reviews, loved it. Of course, you get the incels that say, they have to have 2 women, blah, 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 because God forbid a woman do anything in a video game or just anything in pop culture nowadays. But
hey, Tomb Raider.
Exactly. And Samus. Literally
Samus is,
2 of the most influential video game characters of all time. Right. So they do have, from what it sounds, Sydney Sweeney is in talks to star, while John M. Chu, who worked on Wicked, is set to direct.
Oh, God.
So we will see how that works.
I guess everyone knows my feelings on that. By the way, did you see that tomorrow, or actually today, their Sasquatch soap with Dr. Saul is releasing Sydney Sweeney bathwater scented soap?
I mean, it's better than just actually selling bathwater.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, are people going to stand in line at Target like they do for Pokemon cards for the soap?
Maybe. What would you call like a Sydney Sweeney super fan? The Sweeneys? Sween machines?
The Sween machines?
The Sweeney Feenies.
the Sweeney
Feenis?
the Sweeney Feenies.
Are there super fans of like celebrities anymore? I don't know if there are.
Swifties. The Beehive. Okay, here's the difference though: is these people follow like Taylor Swift's music. I feel like the people who are going to buy her soap are like comic book character from The Simpsons type of people.
A comic book guy type people.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot of it will be like wannabe influencers that want to be like.
So, there's going to be a ton of that.
So I tried
reviews.
So I tried the
God.
new Sydney Sweeney body wash from Dr. Sash.
Yeah, her bathwater.
Yeah, and let me tell you my reviews.
Yeah,
and like,
it's going to be a shitload of that.
Yeah, it's going to be insufferable at one point. But you know who's racking in that? Yeah, you know who's racking in that dough though?
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
You
and Dr. Squash or whatever, the Sasquatch.
Yeah, Dr. Sasquatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lastly, let's end on this because last week we did a like spoiler cover of Lilo and Stitch live action because it's made what $500 million. It's set to be one of the first $1 billion movies of the year. I believe.
Is it going to outdo Minecraft?
It might outdo Minecraft, but Minecraft
is still going.
Minecraft is still going. They speculate Minecraft will be the first $1 billion film of the year, and then it will be Lilo and Stitch 2. But the whole, and spoilers, because we gave one last week, we'll give another one. It's been 2 weeks. It is different from the original animated film.
Not much, but there is one thing that is really different. Yeah.
And that is that rather than Ohauna being family sticks together. Ohauna means college on the mainland while Lilo stays in Hawaii. And so, to be fair, I have been criticizing it for two reasons. One, it feels very different in the sense of like the messaging behind it. And two, I don't like live action because I fear it is doing a disservice to animation.
Okay, so you're biased on that point.
So I am right, and like we all grew up on animation. I still watch animation. I think animation is brushed off far too often.
It's making a huge comeback the last year or so, though.
I still feel like Arcane's done great things for it.
Yeah,
I think there's been a lot of pop culture things.
Like we're getting an animated Predator,
right?
Animated Alien,
and I actually think it's doing Predator a service. Like, I think it's only going to make Predator look better.
Mm-hmm.
My fear, and like Ninja Turtles, I believe it was 2 years ago. And Spider-Man, Mutant Mayhem, and then the Spider-Verse movies have been great. I just feel like Disney in particular.
Oh, they've sucked.
Bad.
They failed.
And they don't.
But this one was good.
But the problem is they don't fail because Mufasa, $700 million.
Yeah, but okay. That was not the same story.
Right.
It's a new story.
No, right. But I just mean like.
The first Lion King.
Jungle Book.
That one was actually pretty good.
Right. My concern is that this will do
Aladdin
away.
Sucked.
Aladdin
Snow White failed.
Snow White not only failed, it's the biggest bomb of the year by a wide margin.
Cinderella didn't do well.
My concern is that they're leading away from animation, and animation already is under attack because a lot of companies are trying to use AI now, a lot of these other things to boost animation.
Not a chance.
But
animation movies make way more money than non-animation movies. And it's
Pixar for sure.
Yeah. Like Transformers 1 ended up being positive, right? Because it was animated.
It should have been more.
Yeah.
That movie
was great.
That movie was so good.
But like, trust me, animation's not going anywhere. It's only going to grow.
But let's talk about Lilo and Stitch.
Great movie.
You saw it. Your thoughts. Take it away.
My daughter afterwards said, that's my new favorite movie over Moana 2. But you could see she's very biased with recency. But I liked it a lot. I love Lilo and Stitch. We actually watched like all four of them, I guess. Lilo and Stitch 1, 2, which stinks. But and then there Leroy and Stitch is great. I like Leroy and Stitch. Yeah, they're setting up for Leroy. You'll know Leroy.
Is Leroy the yellow one? Is he 6'2",
He's the red one.
Because okay,
that's coming too.
Stitch is 6'2".
Yeah,
I remember the yellow guy.
The yellow one's coming too. Yep.
And like they had a cartoon show.
They set that up in the.
They had the cartoon show where like they were trying to find the jobs for all of Stitch's like cousins.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they're setting this up for a universe.
Do we need it?
I think so. It's because it was huge. We went opening day at 3:00 though, on a Thursday.
Slammed,
packed. Everyone buying the popcorn buckets with the ears. I had to get my daughter one. The drinks. They had giant stuffed animals that people were buying. Wearing Lilo and Stitch stuff.
Oh no, this is
a huge thing.
It's gonna be huge.
Yeah,
huge. I'll say this: I did feel Stitch looked very good.
Looked great.
I will say.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't. I'm only basing this off of like the previews I've seen and the things I've read.
It was good.
I've read. So, and like I said, I haven't been judging this fairly because I have yet to see the film.
Yeah.
But I've heard that the aliens themselves don't get a lot of screen time because they're in human disguise. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Which kind of feels a little bit of a disservice.
Well, that's from the animation.
No. Animation, they're just cross-dressing.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just wearing a Hawaiian shirt or a dress.
Good point.
So I mean,
they have a hat on them.
Yeah. So I mean, like they're not in human disguise.
Sunglasses with the mustache.
It's just the extra 2 eyes in the back, and then the one eye clear as day doesn't even cover.
Yeah, you're right.
But there you go. There's our entertainment news.
I give it a 8.9 out of 10.
That's high praise.
Yeah,
that's high praise.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
What'd you give Thunderbolts?
I really liked it. I
gave Thunderbolts 8.3.
A 3?
8.3.
I was gonna say
8.3.
Yeah, bro, that's probably where I get it. It was a surprise, but I went with my buddy and we had low expectations.
Right.
And it ended up being this was good, and it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. And I was never a fan of a lot of those characters, but somehow after the movie, I liked those characters.
I wouldn't be upset with seeing them again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go back to watch a second film.
Probably not. I think,
but like if they're an Avengers movie and then they come back,
Avengers.
Yeah, like
I didn't even see the new Captain America movie, and I was able to follow along without caring what the hell happened with Harrison Ford and Air Force One.
You kind of just like, okay, he's not around.
Yeah,
like, that's enough.
It was a surprise.
It was entertaining.
A pleasant surprise that was entertaining.
It was entertaining for entertainment.
Florence Pugh ran.
She's awesome.
Yeah, so I liked it.
There you go. All right, we'll take a
Ballerina review coming next week.
Ooh, Ballerina.
I'm seeing it Thursday in my seat, Auditorium 10, D1, F1. Sorry, F1. My seat by myself with a giant popcorn bucket. Ballerina. Let's go.
All right. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with our sports and maybe a little blind betting coming up. NBA Finals?
I'm so blind.
NHL Finals coming up. That's all coming up next.
Big shout out to Groggs Traditional Irish Pub at the northeast corner of Willow and Nees. Not only do they house the Do Over podcast for Tabs and Takes, but they invited us to go blow it up on St. Patrick's Day live on scene. Now that that's done, it's easing us into summer and it gets hella hot here in the Central Valley. Groggs prides themselves on being the coldest drinking establishment in the Central Valley. Literally go down there, get a nice cold pickleback, get a nice cold Guinness, throw it back and leech off that free AC, son. Support Groggs because they support the Do Over podcast.
All right, we're back with Taps and Takes Sports. It's time for sports. Should we do it even though he's not here? The very like Swedish sounding trumpet intro.
Sports, and Elliott likes balls, and Elliott likes balls, and ball sex over his shoulder.
Yeah, throw it right over.
Yeah.
It is time for the sports part of Taps and Takes. Now, I can't lie. It's a little dead right now.
We're getting to the dead period.
We're getting to the dead period. I do want to say, I do want to cover one thing in baseball. Did you see the attendance for Marlins Rockies the other day?
Yes.
I think there might have been 20 people at that game, and tickets, I honest to God think were probably free.
Well, the Rockies have straight trash. They have a minor league team playing.
They lost 50 games before they won 10.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Remember last year we had the White Sox gifting us with the worst ever.
And then the year before that we had the A's.
And then this year
and
we
the
have
A's
the
are also on an
Rockies.
18. I believe they've lost 18 of their last 21.
And most of them at home in that AAA stadium.
Yeah, they're such an unbelievable joke. And then
baseball's kind of a joke this year.
You keep getting more updates about how nothing's actually happened in Vegas because nothing will probably happen in Vegas because
baseball has a huge problem right now.
Baseball is a huge problem right now.
Yeah.
They have a huge problem. It's too top heavy.
It's one team.
It's one.
Well, two teams now.
Two. I mean, the Mets are good though.
Yeah, the Mets will be fine.
The Mets will be fine.
It's the Dodgers and the Yankees, which is great for baseball.
It's good for big markets,
but nobody else cares.
Yeah.
Nobody else
Well,
cares.
and it's funny because like it's almost the total polar opposite when it comes to basketball. And this is how we're going to transition into the NBA Finals because you have two small markets and the Indiana Pacers and
two
Oklahoma
teams that have
City
never
Thunder.
won.
Two teams that have never won an NBA Finals.
So we're guaranteed a new champion.
Two teams that have been there once before and have lost. OKC famously lost with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Serge Ibaka.
And remember, they used to be the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, they were the Supersonic turned OKC Thunder that had an awesome team, but they just weren't ready for the heatles of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh.
Yeah, they had their own heatles, though.
Yeah, but that was before they really all
They
hit
had
their...
Harden, Westbrook, and Durant on it.
That was before Harden was really Harden. That was before
that's when he was
Westbrook
softened.
was, yeah. That was before Westbrook was MVP Westbrook. And Durant's been the same player for 15 years. Yeah. But they lost in 5. And then it wasn't until 2000, the year 2000, the Indiana Pacers lost to a Shaq dominant-led Lakers team. Yeah. They won in 6 back in 2000. So 25-year anniversary for the Pacers to return to the NBA Finals. Now, a lot of people have been doubting the Pacers all year.
Not me.
A lot of people had them to not beat Cleveland. A lot of people were rooting for the Knicks. The Pacers, though, have been not only one of the best playoff teams in a sense of winning.
It's almost
on
like they paced themselves.
Oh my God, he's become me. That's
scary.
It must be the co-host spot where you just get cornier.
It's this chair.
It's this chair. It's this stool. The Pacers have not only been that, but they've been one of the best clutch teams in the NBA since, honestly, the second half of the season. The second best record in the NBA.
They have a great team, man. They had a great team last year.
And then, so they beat the Knicks in 6. They won in Indiana. Tyrese Halliburton, who everybody thought would probably win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, it actually went to Pascal Siakam, who was awesome. He was awesome.
He's quietly his whole career been a fantastic player, but he played up in Toronto.
He is the best second option a championship team can have.
Yeah.
He was for Kawhi Leonard back when Toronto won, and he's going to do it again for the Pacers now, or he hopes to be for the Pacers. And if Pascal Siakam wins the first championship with Toronto and then the first championship with the Pacers, is that Hall of Fame status?
No. He doesn't have Hall of Fame numbers.
But I mean, to be the guy, because if you think about it, he's been the guy a part of these two teams winning their first championship. Those titles mean more.
So
like, does LeBron's, let me ask you, does LeBron's Lakers title mean more than Siakam's Toronto title? I don't think so.
No. Wasn't that the bubble year?
It was the bubble year.
Yeah,
So would a Pacers championship...
It would mean more.
Right?
But he's not the best player on the team.
I mean, he was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
I know, but he wasn't the best player on the team in Toronto when they won.
I mean, Kawhi was crazy.
And it's Kawhi MVP. I'm sorry, MVP Hall of Fame for everything he's done. Yes.
I would agree. I
think
he's
also, remember, he won a title with
and he was awesome for the Spurs. Yeah. He was great. He's been great when he's available.
Yeah.
He's just never available.
Yeah. He's not on Hinge.
Stupid. Single Eddie's crazy, man. I swear. Single Eddie's crazy. All right, but let's get into the actual championship. We have OKC, who's been the most dominant team all year round.
Yeah. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA, not only Western Conference Finals MVP, he was the league MVP by a wide margin, I believe. And they're set coming up this week to take on the Pacers. It is one of the most one-sided betting favorites of all time. I've got them here.
Well, no, the
game
Jazz
one.
Bulls years were pretty one-sided.
OKC is favored -700 for the series. If you wanted to do some of the betting, the spread of games is 5.5. And the Pacers are...
Who has home court again? It's OKC, right?
By a wide margin, yeah. And then you have the Pacers at +500 for the series.
I would pepper some money on the Pacers.
So who do you have winning the series, though? Because all of us might want to pepper because it's such a heavy favorite.
I'm going to take the Pacers.
Pacers
think-
in how many games?
I think it goes 6 or 7. I'm going to say 7. The Pacers win in 7.
Okay. Now, what do you think they do to win out in 7?
I think.
Let's get some analysis here from Fast Eddie.
Excuse me.
From Coughing Eddie.
Coughing Eddie. The Pacers just more well-rounded team, and the gauntlet has been, I think, more real for them, where OKC just kind of walked, and the West, besides them, was a little. Besides Denver was tough, but I just feel like this Pacers team and the way that they've been playing, they're just not done yet. So my analysis just on with using my eyes and seeing what I see, to me, it looks like the Pacers are just at this moment the more equipped team to handle this. And they have Siakam, players who have been in this situation before, where OKC have a really young core.
That's true. And I will say, I think there is something special in the sense of how Halliburton plays. He is old school point guard.
SGA and Halliburton are a must watch against each other in this matchup.
Oh, I agree. And I think Halliburton's defense is probably
He's
better.
a two-way player.
Yeah.
And it used to be, though.
And I also think there is something about having like a traditional point guard, because that's what Halliburton is. He's brought back the traditional point guard, a 20 and 12 kind of guy with assist. And I do like, and I do love the Pacers home court.
Yeah, it's cool looking.
I hate their city jerseys though with the neon. Yeah, they better go pinstripe for this series.
They just need to get rid of city jerseys in baseball and basketball in general.
And no,
they stink.
No, you're right. They're never great.
No.
I don't want to be that guy because I do love a good underdog. And I think the Pacers have been doubted in every series they've been in.
Yeah.
And they have shown up time and time again. My problem is it felt like OKC last year was that young team that needed a loss in the playoffs to become the team they are now. They beat Jokic, who is the MVP runner-up.
Yeah, but that Denver team is... Yeah.
See, for me, I think the West is so much stronger. Not
anymore. It's losing its oomph.
I think regardless of who would have been in, other than maybe a healthy Cleveland team, I think the West was going to win this year.
Nope.
I think the West.
I think the East is now stronger than the West.
I think the East is wide open right now.
It's wide open, but the top tier teams are stronger.
I think
the favorite all year was the Celtics. They're probably the strongest team.
True.
Cleveland now looks good. Indiana, but the Knicks are better.
But Cleveland the last 2 years.
Then you got OKC, and then you had a bunch of struggling teams. Golden State, the Lakers, these teams that were powerhouses. Memphis, Minnesota, Denver, who's struggled off and on. So the East is stronger than the West now, and it will be next year. I'm telling you.
I disagree. I think having a team like OKC in the West, and then having a Jokic in the West, and then having a Steph, and having a LeBron and a Luka now, you have so much talent of these top 10 players in the West alone.
Jason Tatum
out for the next year with an Achilles.
Yeah.
And then you have Donovan Mitchell, who is great.
Yeah.
And always shows up for the playoffs.
Can you say Giannis' last name for me?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Close. Okay.
Yeah. And Giannis, we don't know where he's going to be next year.
No, it's true.
And so
I just think the East, 4 years ago, the East was crap, but they've gotten a lot stronger and they're a lot better.
I agree. They've gotten stronger. I just feel
and the West is fading.
I feel like the West in about 2 years will fade. I think once Steph and LeBron both kind of age out, because LeBron's got 2 more years at most. At most.
God, please no.
And then Steph probably has about 1 more year of being the number 1 and then needs to find someone to replace him. I think the Warriors should go all in for Giannis personally.
No, the Warriors are going to go through, I think we talked about this like twice already on this show, but they're going to go through a 5-year rough period now.
They might even go through more.
Yeah, maybe more.
Honestly. I mean, the Warriors, even when they had Steph at a young age, they weren't great. It wasn't until they built around him.
The Clippers are going to go through this soon.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors are going to go through this soon.
Yep.
The Lakers are kind of going to be in a weird transition
plus,
phase.
I think the Rockets are only going to get better.
They will get better, yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of, I think for the West, I think
a surprising team next year in the West who I think could be top 3 The Spurs.
Yeah, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Setting up for the future big time.
Yeah.
But so I have OKC and I don't want to be this guy because it's so anti-storyline. OKC probably wins in 5. There's probably 3 blowouts.
So.
There's probably 3 blowouts, 2 of them in OKC.
That's the thing is OKC
Pacers
has not played a defensive team like the Pacers in the playoffs.
No, I think the Pacers are a great story. I think they've been way better than we've been giving them credit. I mean, they were an Eastern Conference
They're
team
one of the
last
strongest
year.
defensive teams in the league.
And I think Miles Turner is a stud. I think
exactly. Yeah.
I think Pascal Siakam is a stud. I think Halliburton
is going to be a close series.
Only getting better. I just feel it's hard watching what the OKC has done in the playoffs and all year and then not be like, God, how do you...
Defense is stronger in the East than it is in the West.
And I also feel like the officiating for OKC has been very, I hate to say it, a little whistle friendly.
Well, how many of their games have been blowouts by halftime, though? I do not expect that here.
I hope not. I hope a part of me hopes I'm wrong because I think the Pacers are a better story than
on
OKC.
paper. This should be a good series,
but we'll see. And then let's go to the other great. This is going to be a special series here.
Mm-hmm.
The rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Finals, Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. Got it right that time. The Battle of the Breast, round 2. Fast Eddie, Edward Rouse.
Yes.
Game 1. We've got the odds here. Florida Panthers plus 110, Edmonton minus 130. What say you? The over.
Yeah, what say you? So I can go the other way. I don't know about tonight, and hockey's a weird to bet game by game, but I'm picking the Oilers to win this year.
What do you think? What do you like about the Oilers? Do you think it's like the revenge setup?
A little bit of the revenge setup?
They got a chip on their shoulder.
The Panthers lost, and then they won, and then to win back to back, obviously. And Florida hockey has never been better.
Dude, if the Panthers win this, it'll be 5 years in a row a Florida team has won the Stanley Cup.
No, didn't it?
Tampa Bay won 3 in a row, and then it was the Panthers.
No. Didn't the Golden Knights win it between?
You're right. Yeah. So 5 of the last 6 have been Florida.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I think, and I hate to see the cup go back to Canada. But...
You betraying us?
But it's McDavid's turn, man.
He has been special.
He is the best. I think he's the best player in hockey. So it's his turn.
No, I think you're right. I think he is I think Ovechkin for this season was kind of like the face of the league just because he was chasing history.
He's retiring and he looks like he's an 80-year-old man playing hockey.
Well, and he was chasing history with Gretzky this year. So it was
hit it, yeah.
So it was special, right? But I think McDavid is the future. I think he is
the now.
He is the now. He is the face of hockey.
Him and Austin Matthews, I think, are the 2 best players in the NHL.
And my thing with Florida, though, is it's hard to bet against a team that has done it.
Yeah.
A team that is, and I feel like.
But even the Patriots lost a few Super Bowls.
That's
you know what
true.
I'm saying?
No, you're not wrong. And I mean.
And the Chiefs just have already lost a few Super Bowls.
Brakes beat off them.
Yeah.
But I mean. And also a part of me just loves the idea of the most southern state in the country.
Just being dominant in hockey.
Just being great in ice hockey.
Yeah.
I think it's
You know what? California had a good run for a while too with the Kings, the Sharks, and the Ducks.
Once upon a time, the Sharks and the Ducks were a great franchise.
And the Kings. Yeah.
No, the Kings. We're not Kings fans here. We're not Kings fans here.
But I believe all 3 of those teams won a Stanley Cup within 10 years of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're in the Florida phase.
We're in the Florida Vegas phase. Yeah.
All the hottest states we have are all winning Stanley Cup titles here.
Yeah. We just need Arizona Coyotes to make a comeback.
Ooh, no.
Well, they're the mammoth now.
They're the mammoth.
The singular mammoth.
I hate that. I wanted them to be the Yeti, man.
I don't mind. See, anything like subarctic like that.
But
the Yeti.
The reason because the Colorado Avalanche used to have their logo a Yeti foot on their on their logos, and they still use that.
My thing,
old
why one?
throwback.
Why mammoth? Why one?
I don't know.
That's bugging me.
Man.
The mammoths, the woolly mammoths.
There's a few of those. You got the Minnesota Wild.
Wild's cool though.
Kind of. Yeah, their logo kind of stinks, but yeah, the Minnesota Wild.
Mm-hmm.
You got a few I don't understand, like the Winnipeg Jets. Like there's no Jets in Winnipeg.
Yeah, you know, maybe Jet Streams, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But my favorite hockey team name, because it just fits, is the Canucks.
The Canucks is
like,
something. The Canucks is something like the Canucks.
Yeah.
I think the New Jersey Devils.
That's a good one too.
That's a good one.
I'm surprised they can still use that nowadays.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they got a PC it.
Yeah.
The New Jersey Bad Boys.
Yeah. It's better than the New Jersey Devil. You're right. It's the Devils.
The Devils.
Yeah.
And there you go. There's Taps and Takes. We covered it all.
We did.
From Lilo and Stitch to female leads in video games to
female leads in movies. Ballerina. See
there
it.
you go. See it.
My full review next week.
Coming next week on Taps. Hang on.
Taps and Take it down.
Taps and Takes. That's a wrap. Fast Eddie, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course,
it's always
man.
good to see you.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize how iced out you were until I noticed you got the watch. You got the chains. You got the beads. Where can people find you on the webs?
At Edward Rouse at all your favorite social media, and my new business, which LLC went through, Striven LLC, which is Striven at Live Striven as well.
That's Driven with a capital S. You can find me, Elliott Cams, on Instagram and Elliott Jams 13 on Instagram. You can find me at anything Do Over podcast related. New episodes every Wednesday and Taps and Takes this Friday. Make sure to check out Predator Killer of Killers.
Hell yeah.
Until next week, I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. This has been the Do Over podcast, Taps and Takes. We love you. Bye.
Find me on Hinge. Just kidding.
Hinge, Plenty of Fish, Twitter, Tinder, Bumble. Find him.
Let me know in the comments which one I should sign up for.
All of them.
All of the above.
Sports and sports returns where Elliott's love